But what I was saying, if I have a second with this battery before it keeps cutting out on me, I have to keep deleting all my stuff because I've got too much stuff on this computer. But is it sustainable? Is it fashionable? With the culture of consumerism that we are in, and all the sophistication in terms of like Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff, just saw a bunch of like a high school sports team waltz into McDonald's. I'm using the Wi-Fi in front of a McDonald's here, and I just can't help but think, is that a good programming? All those kids are fit, healthy, and athletic. They're, on their way to a competition basketball game or something like that. But, in 10, 15 years, that programming and that memory, there or is it 20 years? Is it going to be a good thing for them, for society, for culture? And it's just we need to reimagine the whole thing. It's like when we're talking about like they're going to a competition, they should be going to the competition, and part of that competition it should be structured into it that they should be consuming the food that they got themselves from the land. Or we should reimagine the landscape of restaurants and that kind of thing. We should have restaurants in different places across the country where people bring their own food that they harvested themselves and tell that story and celebrate that instead of just consuming, and obviously all the problems with the stuff that when you're not attached to those processes in terms of whether it's safe and good for you to eat, or whether it's safe and good for the people working to get that stuff, whether it's out in the field or whether it's in a stockyard somewhere and all that kind of thing. So but then and the other thing, and just like when I was talking about that stuff, it's like just some native people just went into the McDonald's too, and I'm sitting here and it's like, shit, we tried to preserve, the native communities have tried to preserve their culture and the connection their culture had to the land, and I'm not sure that's been successful. A lot of times there's a huge obesity problem, and there's all kinds of drugs and substance abuse issues and poverty issues with those native communities. So, when we try to do this, again, with this one dog class idea, theoretically anyway, are we going to is it actually going to be successful, or is it just going to be lip service? Like I think what happens with a lot of those native communities, it's not something that actually just because they can remember how to hunt, that doesn't mean that they're living a healthy hunting lifestyle 24/7 365. So there's a big obstacle, I think, with that intentionality and with the vision and with the mission to actually have it be effective in for longevity.